will please give order.
All right, matey boy. I'll have a pint of lager and a small sweet sherry for Bloodface here. Great gathering. Yes, I rather think it was.
Your Honour, I throw myself on the mercy of the court. I am only 14 years old. Make me your ward. Bring me up as your own, and in time we shall learn to love each other. I have been cruelly used, and I'm an emaciated waif.
That's right, Your Honour. A 14 stone emaciated waif. I've got heavy bones. That's so.
Spare me, Your Honour, I am with child. Well, with Eddie, that's much the same thing. It was him that made me do it.
Silence, I say again. Silence in my courtroom. Richard, Rich, and Edward Catflap, you stand accused of a sickening and degraded crime, a crime that strikes at the very heart of our society and mocks all that we hold decent and clean. You exposed your bottoms on TVAM, and what is worse, in front of, Miss Anne Diamond. How do you plead?
We plead like this, Your Majesty. Please, please, please let us off. Oh, go on, I'll be your best friend. I'll be your slave for life. We meant no harm. We thought Anne would appreciate a bit of a peek at the old tradesman's entrance.
Silence, I say. Believe me, sir, you do yourself no good service with this spineless grovelling. Desist, I say, or it may be the worse for you.
Blimey, he's milking it a bit, isn't he? All it says in the script is shut your face, plot pad. This is the last time we use anyone from Rada, that's for death.
Far from appreciating your foul display, Miss Anne Diamond has stressed that two such raddled and acne-ridden old orifices have seldom been put before a sickened public, and has requested the severity of the sentence mirror the ugliness of the flaps. In the absence of any defence, I therefore sentence you to be shot. Take him down.
Oh, all right then. I thought that's why we got into trouble in the first place.
We can make his mind up, look, Rebecca.
Your Honour, I wish to speak on behalf of the defendants.
Oh, well, that's it then, isn't it? Goodbye, cruel world.
Mr. Bilkey, I have passed sentence. The case is closed.
You're on, Ruby, darling, sweetheart, please don't shout. I have a delicate medical condition known as a hangover. I contend that vital evidence was not put before the jury, and that hence there should be a retrial.
And this evidence is?
Luby, the burden of the Crown's case to date has stood solely upon the alleged horrifying nature of my client's garden gates. I contend that a split second of TVAM videotape is not sufficient evidence to so damningly brand a man's rear loader. And hence I further contend that it is my client's right that the jury should view the evidence.
No! Jury will view the evidence.
Want to look?
No! Excuse me, but we are still here, you know. I mean, never mind about hurting our feelings or anything.
Seems I have no option but to offer the defendants a conditional discharge. And that condition is that you find gainful employment outside of show business, in which you are clearly a menace to clean-living TV presenters like, Miss Anne Diamond. Case dismissed. As for you, Mr. Bilkey, I find you guilty of encouraging indecent exposure with intent to cause a public affray. And under the new criminal evidence anti-terrorist, the police can do what they bloody well like. I sentence you to be hung by the neck until dead.
Oh. Well, you probably won't be coming down the pub then, Filthy.
See ya.
Yeah.
Thanks, Filth. You're a mate. Poor old Filthy. Gonna get hanged just for getting us off.
Yeah. Stay aware, all right? It's a sod him.
Yeah. Mind you, Eddie, are we all right? The judge says we've got to get gainful, non-showbiz employment. Otherwise, it's back in the jug for us.
What about stealing?
Of course, what a good idea. Yes, oh, it's very romantic, isn't it? Yes, oh, I can see me now. I am the unblemished soul, cast down amongst criminals, having to steal to stay alive, like Oliver Twist. Well... love? Does it come from skies above? I should have been in Oliver, you know. I went to the audition. Do you know what they said?
Sod off ugly.
That's amazing. Were you there?
Anyway, Ollie Twisto didn't do so badly from his life of crime. No, thank you very much.
No, sirree, Bob, he certainly did not. After a brief spell of pickpocketing, a rich, kindly old gentleman discovered that he was the illegitimate child of his dead daughter and really a member of the middle class. So he saved him. Hey, Eddie, maybe the same thing will happen to us.
Yeah, maybe. Well, the chances are sort of vaguely against it, really, aren't they?
No, it's all in the book. Why, Doctor, Mr. Brownlow will say in his gruff but kindly voice, know ye not these two little urchins, Eddie and Richie? Study on the portrait of my dead daughter. Surely you'll vouchsafe that their faces are just like Fanny's.
Speak for yourself.
Now, Ollie started in the workhouse, so what we must do is throw ourselves on the mercy of the state.
Well, Richie, the state has no mercy. They enjoy watching people starve to death. It's called monetarism.
Oh, yes.
Let's cut straight to the pickpocketing.
Of course, yes. That's it. I've been entirely miscasting myself. The artful dodger. That's the part for me. Wandering around the town, whipping fine silk hankies out the pockets of fops and beaux as they parade about the place.
Right, let's practice. You try and get my wallet out of my back pocket without me noticing.
All right, Skip. Shouldn't be too difficult. You got hit by a bus last week and didn't notice, did you?
Yeah, well, I had a lot on my mind.
Well, you would do with a bus on your head, wouldn't you?
Brilliant joke, Richie.
Wasn't a bad one, was it? That was rather good.
Right, let's start. Are you ready?
Yes.
Right. In this world, one thing counts in the bank, larger work. At least don't I want praise. You've got to pick the pocket.
Oh, God, stand still, you wriggly little lizard, while I pick your pocket.
Richie, I don't wish to appear picky, but isn't screaming, stand still while I pick your pocket at your prospective victim going to rather give the game away?
Well, I don't believe it. All prospective pickpocket victims pounce them down the place, wiggling their bottoms like they've got to whip it down the pants.
All right, we'll make it a bit easier for you.
Now, this is a bit more like it. Right, here goes. Consider yourself at home.
Well, now who's pouncing up and down?
Shut up, Eddie, you haven't noticed me. Oh, God, I'll start again. Oh, ready. Consider yourself. Ah, mate. Ooh, a bottom.
I've noticed you, you know.
Shut up, Eddie, I'm being inconspicuous.
And it is this very attitude, in my humble opinion, which explains why the colourful figure of the Dickensian pickpocket faded from the London scene. They seem to suffer from the fatal delusion that wearing an outsized top hat, singing Consider Yourself and bouncing up and down eyeing old gentlemen's bums would lead to a successful career in crime.
Eddie, could we please just get on with the play? Who knows who's watching? Mrs. Thatcher's probably watching. She's a Wonder Woman workaholic who needs no sleep and does a 36-hour day.
Well, she needs 36 hours a day to screw things up the way she does.
Edward, could we please just get on with the play?
All right, bums out and let's go for it.
Right.
Oh, my. What an interesting shoppy window. I think I shall just stare into it motionlessly for a while longer.
Complete?
Yes, we.
Here goes. After some consideration, we can say, consider yourself. One of us. Eddie, the damn thing won't budge.
Well, of course not. It's nailed to my bottom. Can't be too careful these days. There's a lot of pickpockets about.
Oh, this is ridiculous. We'll never get gainful employment this way. And if we don't, the judge will send us back to prison. I know what I'll do. I'll phone Filthy. He's my agent. It's his responsibility to get us work.
He's in prison under sentence of death.
Selfish bastard! Filthy! Great to see you. Commiserations and all that. Here's half a Mars bar.
Yes, I had your laugh, I'm afraid, but not to worry. I gave you a bit of wipe down.
Yeah, mind you, you should have seen what he wiped it with. Now then, Filthy.
God, I'm ill. Prison does not agree with me. This morning I coughed so hard I blew my kidney out my backside.
For God's sake, stop whinging, you selfish little toady. Me and Eddie are in deep trouble because of what you did. Just because you got us off, the judge said we've got to get some gainful employment.
You want me to help you?
We are my agent.
I'm also under sentence of death. All right, I'll help you if if you do one small thing.
Filthy anything.
I want you to get me a short piece of 1-inch steel piping.
What for?
If I told you that, I'd ruin the plot, wouldn't I, Eddie?
Well, there's not a lot to ruin, is there, really? I'd hardly call this meaningless stream of bot and knob gags a plot, would you?
Eddie, it will all come clear in the end. Just go and get the piping.
Righty dokey. Here you go, Filthy. Hey, here's a bit of a gag to lighten the tone. What's the similarity between this toilet bowl and your head?
I neither know nor care.
When you bang them together, they both go clunk.
Eddie, if you can't get a laugh without cynical recourse to lavatory humour, you might just as well keep quiet. Right, there you are, Filthy. There's the pipe. Now it's your turn to do something for us. You've got to suggest a job.
Right, well, daughters, I've been thinking, and it strikes me that to date your career can be summed up in 2 words.
Oh, star-spangled.
Complete disaster. So, the first thing we must ask ourselves is, what are your qualities and talents?
Right, well, that's that out of the way. What shall we do next?
This is no time to mince with words, Eddie. We must be honest. Richie is a lying, cheating, vicious, right-wing bastard with the sexual sophistication of a mentally retarded donkey. Which means you are ideally suited to be...
A journalist? You mean join the scum?
Become a journo?
Yes.
What should we do for Encore, Filthy? Set fire to a hospital?
What you've got to do is go and see Dingo Wucker, the big Australian publisher.
Mr. Walker, sir, the men who wrote with the letters of introduction are here as appointed, sir.
Oh, Christ, yes, I remember. Say, what are their tits like?
They're men, sir.
Dingo Wucker, billionaire and ordinary bloke. Good day.
Richie Rich, major celeb, resting for tax purposes, an amazing bloke. G'day.
Edward Catflap, extraordinary fart impressionist. Good day.
Good day.
G'day.
Good day.
Good day.
Good day.
G'day.
Well, you certainly come with excellent credential. Letter of introduction from Mrs. Thatcher and Jimmy Tarbuck.
Facho and Tarbo, bloody great mates.
Yeah, forged, of course. Then you want to be journos, so there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I was impressed by the audacity of it. Take a seat.
Blimey, thought you never ask. Take the weight off me plates. Put my butt on a spot. Save my bunions.
Now, you take it easy, boys. He said bunions. That's English for horrible feet. They thought you said unions. You didn't say unions, did you, you slimy little English commie? Maybe you did. Maybe you said unions after all.
Look, I said bunions, you
There, you said it again, you bastard. I'm gonna...
Mr. Wacker, we hate unions and you've saved England by destroying them. How clever you were to move your premises to Wapping so that under Thatcher's new union laws you could sack everyone after many years' service. And when they gathered outside your gates to protest at their impending starvation, how lucky we taxpayers were to be able to pay for thousands of police to keep them away from your huge stash of cash which they'd earned for you in the first place.
Get on with it, Richie. The bar closes in an hour.
Does it?
Mr. Rich, I'm thrilled to see how much you support my anti-communist actions. You're hired. I'll get you an assignment straight away from the editor. He's in the copy room. I know where he is because I'll keep him on the end of this bit of string. That way I can be sure he has full editorial freedom from me, his publisher. Well, this story of yours about the Chancellor of the Exchequer, couldn't you work a bird into it some way? Come on, you can't look, you're a journo, for God's sake, take some pride in your work. Who is this Chancellor for a start?
Well, he's a government minister, Mr. Wacker.
Ah, it's a he, huh? Ah, that means he's knobbed somebody recently, right? Find out who, offer her 200 quid and get her to do as a topless. If she won't, have a house rob, pinch her photo albums and find me a tits-out sunbathing shot.
I don't think Mrs. Lawson's ever been tits out sunbathing.
Who the hell's Mrs. Lawson? How old's she?
Well, no, 50, 55.
Is she a lovable granny?
I doubt it.
How many more times do I have to tell people I'm not interested in women over 25 unless they're lovable grannies? Now, don't argue with me about this. I see our whole budget coverage as a 6-tit story, maybe even 7.
7 tits.
Yeah. Profile shot, very tasteful. See them with me. Now, I bought you these 2 new cub reporters.
Yeah, dibby-dibby-dub-dub-dub.
They're celebrity experts.
That's us. Shazing!
Yes, and you're in luck. You've got something big straight off. Tell them, Bill. Christ. We've had a call from the PM. She's worried about all these pop stars doing loads of charity work.
Oh, well, I think it'd be a charity if they all shut up. Dreadful screeching. James Last and Roger Whittaker are the only half-decent rockers I know.
Oh, I don't know. The Wombles can certainly kick ass.
Shut your beer suckers and listen. Bob Geldof and Midge-Ure alerted people to the starving millions, right? Now, the PME's worried that somebody's going to click that the starvation is actually caused by the rich countries screwing everything they can get out of the third world. So, we are going to smear Sir Bob.
Oh, sounds saucy. What are we going to smear him with?
Listen, Largo Brains, we're going to get this do-gooder. Now, this is what I want you to do. We're getting reports that Bob Geldof...
No. Midge-Ure.
What?
We're getting reports that Midge-Ure.
Look here.
What are you talking about, Eddie?
They couldn't get Bob Geldof for the show. We had to settle for Midge-Ure.
Midge-Ure?
Yeah.
Let me just get this straight. We have booked a man for my show called Midge-Ure.
Well, it's all we can get for a bottle of woodpecker and a snog with a stage doorman.
Look here, I'm a semi-professional actor.
Oh, for God's sake, get on with it, you old ham. Doing this with us means you'll probably get a panto next year. Get on with it.
Right. We're getting reports that Midge-Ure is a Soviet agent and is having an affair with Mrs. Thatcher. I want the pics. I want the story.
Juicy. Where did we get the info? Undercover investigation? Squealer in the Ultravox entourage?
Don't be a moron. We made it up. That's why we know we can be sure of all the facts. Now, piss off.
Right.
And hey, let's be careful out there.
Right, Eddie, this is the plan. I'll keep him talking, you sneak inside, plant Thatch in his bed, spread the Russian stuff around a bit, and get the pics.
Right. While we're at it, why don't we go the whole way and bung in a goat or an underage chicken or something like that?
Edward, would you please keep the diseased flushings of your leprous mind to yourself? We are British journos. Good Lord, I hope we have some moral code. Now shut up, and let's get on with framing Midge-Ure. I'll deal with the butler first. Hey, maybe it'll be a maid. Midge is, after all, a feminist, so he's bound to be an equal opportunities employer. Hey, maybe we'll be on for a bit of sex.
Yeah. Bound to happen.
Hello, my dear. Goodness, but you're attractive. Get a load of this. Shut up! Shut up! All right, so it's Midge-Ure. Don't you behave like a bunch of mindless sycophants? My sacred giddy aunt, he sells a couple of crappy records to a bunch of screaming knickerwetters, and you'll behave like he's God. I feel my guts out doing jokes and I can't even get on blankety blank.
It is, isn't it? It's Midge bloody Ure. Ah, hey, Midge, cop a load of this. Roxanne! You don't have to stick your message up a bottle. Hey, I suppose people come up to you all the time singing, Roxanne! Still, it's fans like us that put you where you are today.
Sting wrote Roxanne, had nothing to do with it.
Ooh, listen to Mr. Pop Quiz! Listen, Eddie, this bastard's costing us 30 quid. I thought you said he wrote Roxanne. I wanted Roxanne. I had my first snog listening to Roxanne. I'll never forget that.
It was only last Sunday with Jimmy Savile's Golden Olden prog.
Magical morning. Just me, Jimmy Savile, and the dog. All right, then, Mr. What did you write then, seeing as though you didn't have the talent to write Roxanne?
Well, there was, Oh, Vienna.
Oh, stop messing about. Come on, what did you really write?
No, that was one.
Well, it's no wonder Andrew originally left the act, is it?
Eddie, touchy showbiz subject. Andrew Ridgely's after all on the dole because of this bloke here. Well, it's difficult to keep six-leggy models on the money Thatch gives you. Right, sorry, Mr. Ure. Let's start again, shall we? Mr. Ure, I am a police officer. Here's my card.
This is a library ticket.
Is it? Oh, damn. Police. Right, there you are.
Oh, yes, officer. What can I do for you?
Well, Mr. Ure, I have reason to believe that you've been holding all-night sex parties in that bus shelter down the road.
Ridiculous. I hold all-night sex parties at Geldof's place.
Oh, dear. What's it like? Well, nevertheless, I must ask you to accompany me down the road.
You're making a big mistake here.
No, half as much as you did, mate, agreeing to do this in the first place.
It is now the next day.
And tomorrow is a historic day for British justice. The first execution under the new Police Act. A government spokesman said that bringing back hanging was a return to traditional values. There are plans to continue the process with the restoration of beheading and eventual ritual slaughter of innocents by druids. The condemned man, Ralph Filthy, a theatrical agent, spoke out from his cell.
I should like to thank all my clients for their many letters and messages of support. Unfortunately, there haven't been any. Also, if the landlord of Biggin's illegal drinking joint and peepo bar is tuned in, I left an unfinished drink in the snug the other day. Pop it over, be a looby.
A moving final appeal from a man.
You know, I've missed old Filthy. Last December, with the meat cleaver. Missed him. Point blank range with my mum's air pistol. Missed him. It just goes to show, if you want a job doing properly, it's best not to drink 16 pints of lager before.
Oh, God. That bitch of Boots. She wouldn't give me the photos unless I paid her. I promised her a mention on my next programme, but she wouldn't budge. So I punched her and nicked them. I must say I'm enjoying the moral laxity that accompanies being a journo.
Yeah, what are the pics like? Any good?
Don't know, I haven't looked yet. I hope they're really dirty. I could do with a bit of a look at something dirty. I really could.
Well, you're welcome to a look at my duvet. But be careful, it ain't the dog last week.
Eddie, these photos are brilliant. Perfect sex pics of Mrs. Thatcher in mid-year's bed. This is brilliant. We're on our way to our first front page. Let's go and show Bill the editor. He'll be so proud.
Hang on. I've just had a thought.
Well, maybe we should bake a cake. 30 years on from his mother's womb, and Eddie Catflap's had his first fort. It's really rather a solemn moment, isn't it?
Richie.
What?
I think there's something rather unpleasant on your trouser area. What? My head.
Oh, bloody hell, that hurt, Eddie. Ow, no, that really hurt.
I must say, it's a lot harder than I was expecting.
What is these photos? They're so fantastically sexy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe we shouldn't take them to the papers. Maybe we should take them to Midge himself. How much do you think he'd pay for them?
Eddie, are you suggesting that we blackmail the world's greatest rock star?
No, I'm suggesting we blackmail Midge.
Oh, hello again, officer.
Aha! We're not police officers, Midge, you poor dupe. We're journos!
God, the scum.
That's right, from the Daily Bastard!
That's us! Our cards! Now then, Mr. Take a look at these, and bear in mind that we've got the negatives.
Yes, right here.
No, we've got the negatives in a highly secret place. Not very nice, are they? Let me paint a little picture for you, Mr. Midge. Imagine a record store where your new album, U-Vox, has just come out. I shall play a mother, Eddie, my daughter, Cynthia. Action!
Oh, Mummy, look at the lovely new album by Ultravox. Can I buy it? He's so handsome and talented, even though he sings like he's got a whippet down his trousers.
No, you may not buy it, Cynthia. Midge is a filthy pervy. I read it in the Daily Bastard. Not a very pretty picture, is it?
Not really, no.
Of course, for £200,000 million.
Yes, and the royalties from your fantastic single, Shut Up, Your Face.
What's the matter, you? Hi! Gotta no respect, shut up, your face! Fantastic, hardy hop, decent bit of work you ever did.
Yeah, so if you give us all that...
Then these pics need never see the light of day.
Well, that would be a shame.
What?
Well, you know the business, Rich. You're a pro. You know that things like this don't harm stars like you and I anymore. In fact, a bit of scandal's actually quite good for the career. And I've not had much publicity recently, so, great. Go for it. Publish.
Edward?
Yes, I think I understand. Cop this, Mr. Midge.
God, how embarrassing. Demoted on our first day. Look at us now. Reduced to covering a common hanging. What's more, it's only filthy. I wouldn't mind if it was somebody interesting.
The condemned man ate a hearty breakfast consisting of 40 fags and a bottle of scotch. Unfortunately, we were unable to comply with his last request due to objections from the RSPCA.
What they do-gooders?
The prisoner will mount the scaffold.
It is a far, far better thing that I do now than what I have ever done before.
Well, that can't be very hard for you then, can it? Since everything else you've done's been crap.
Hey, Filthy! Did you know that it's a scientific fact that when you get home...
Yes, I did know that, Eddie, actually. Ironic, really. First one I've had in 15 years and I won't be here to enjoy it.
Don't be joking, Filtho. Actually, we're both very, 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 very sad. Mind, there's no sense in moping, is there?
No.
Perhaps you're right, Eddie. I mean, after all, as I prepare to die, I have only one regret.
Which is?
I wish I wasn't being executed.
Sounds reasonable.
Filthy, it is time.
No. Hang on. My flash hasn't warmed up yet.
See you in that great dressing room in the skies, Luby.
Yeah, bye.
Bravo!
Encore!
Well hung! The government would like us to warn children that hanging is extremely dangerous, even though more than half of them want to bring it back.
Right, that's it, you lot. Go on, the party's over. Shut off. There's plenty more where this one came from.
Oh, God, Filthy, you're alive!
Well, of course I am, Richie. I've got to be in the next series, haven't I? That's when you can really force your wages up.
But how? I've got some bloody great lines this week, haven't I? You're alive, and but how? Come on, get on with this. I want to get to a bit with lots of me in it.
That bit of piping you gave me, Eddie. It's an old Newgate trick. You stuff it down your throat and stops your windpipe collapsing. That's what I did.
But how can you have, Filthy? The pipe is still in the prison cell.
Is it? Oh, well, in that case, it must have been this safety harness that saved me then.
God, what a rotten day.
Well, let's go home and think about it then, shall we?
Yeah.
I knew nothing good had come of joining the scum.
Oh, yes. It's easy to say something clever, isn't it? Except it isn't really for you, is it? Because you're so thick.
Look, boys, shut up, I'm trying to think. Now, it strikes me that what we should do is take a leaf out of Midgie's book and do what he does.
What? Wander about with designer stubble wiggling our butts like we just sat on a Magimix?
Edward, you seem absolutely determined to ruin whatever chance we ever had of being bought a drink in the bar by him after the show. He's got pots of money, you know.
Look, stop it, boys, shut up. All I'm saying is that if someone as experienced in the business as Midgie says that all publicity is good publicity, then what we should do is write about Richie.
Of course! Get paid to promote my own career!
And what are we going to write about your fascinating lifestyle? Drunk has-been goes to the pub. Fat failure cricks his neck ogling girl's bottom.
Well, it's better than you, isn't it? Lobotomized blubber mountain farts occasionally.
Yeah, well, it's not me that's trying to be scandalous, is it?
Well, lots of what I do is very fascinating indeed. I'm sure the Gen Pub will be very interested to read about my outrageous exploits.
That's right, Richie, you tell him.
Yeah.
Like what?
What about my drug problem?
Which is?
Well, we've run right out of aspirin, and I'm getting very fond of night nurse.
Oh, great. I can just see the headlines now. Richie Rich pinches a 4-ounce cheeseburger. I spent all my cash on night nurse, wailed the has-been to anyone else prepared to listen, which was no one.
Look, can you boys have forgotten so soon the first rule of journalism? Lie.
Of course. Just make it up. It's got to be spicy and with it. Sex, drink, nightclubs.
I've got it! Richie has some sex and a drink in a nightclub.
No. What about Richie has sex with a knight whilst drunk in a club?
Good. What about Richie gets put in the club by a drunk during the night?
Richie, don't be ridiculous. That's far too chintzy.
Yes.
What you need is innuendo.
Of course. And I am the king of innuendo. What about Richie grasps his whopper in a club? His drink, I mean, madam.
Fabulous! It's Guardian Journalist of the Year for you, my lad!
Now, I'm beginning to have second thoughts about this whole all publicity being good lark. I mean, I've been in the business a long time. I can remember when Andrew Gardner blew off on News at 10. Bong. Good evening, this is the news. Tense moment. The nation held its breath. So did Anna Ford, I'm told.
What a nice story, Filthy. Is it relevant?
Of course it's real, Richie, darling. Couldn't be realer. Now, it seems to me that as journos, you are in a unique position to destroy careers here. And if you destroyed enough of them, there'd only be me left. Exactly.
Filthy, are you suggesting that we systematically smear everyone in British show business until there's only Richie Rich left and then the BBC will have to give him a job?
Well, why the hell not? I deserve a lucky break as much as anyone.
Well, as you know, boys, I rarely get excited, but right now I feel like I've been locked in an off-licence. This must be the most comprehensive piece of libel in the history of journalism. Every single person in show business individually slandered with you totally exonerated, Richie. There can't have been such a catalogue of lies, half-truths and self-congratulations since Ian McGregor's account of the miners' strike.
Now, you're sure we've got everyone here? Vera Lynn.
Vera Lynn. Adolf Hitler's lover, rumoured to be a man.
Grange Hill kids.
Yes, the love children of Jimmy Savile and Nana Muscuri.
Outrageous! Lofty from EastEnders.
Well,
you know why they call him Lofty?
It's incredible, isn't it? We must have the whole of show business there.
From the very bottom,
Roland Rat.
to the very top, Benny Hill.
The governor. Benny Hill. The Beeb's got Ronnie Barker, but ITV's got the governor. Benny, 150 years in the biz.
And still telling the same joke.
Yeah?
No, I've seen the original seaside postcard he got it off.
A national treasure. Right, come on, we've got the dirt. Let's go and show Mr. Wacker.
This is absolute dynamite. We're going to blow every other paper off the street.
So you are going to publish then?
Publish? We certainly are. We're going to publish nothing else. There's massive new legislation on the economy, on industrial relations and the NHS. But we're going to forget all that because this is a newspaper and nothing gets in the way of showbiz gossip.
Like that too.
I tell you, after we printed this lot, I don't know who the TV companies are going to use.
Right, well, we'll be on our way then, shall we, Mr. Wacker?
Yeah. See you. Hey, I suppose there is some microscopic evidence for all these allegations. I mean, we only need the tiniest crumb, but we got to have something.
Yes, Mr. Wacker, it's all completely and utterly true.
Mr. Wacker, I just want it noted down, but it was Edward Didgeridoo Catflap who said we have the proof.
Right. How do you spell tits?
Oh, dear. Never worked so hard in all my life. Oh, get the telly on.
Which channel?
It doesn't matter which channel is on all of them.
In a moment, it's time. Half an hour's sparkling entertainment of Richie Rich. That's followed at 7:30 by Top of the Riches. And at 8 o'clock, there's Life on Richie. A fascinating insight into the natural evolution of Richie Rich. Now it's time.
Hello, mums. Hello, dads. Hello to all the family. God bless Gran. And don't forget the kids. God bless the dog. You're all nice people in this nice world. But I'm the nicest of all. Because I'm in showbiz. Watch me now. Showbiz. I'm in showbiz. 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 So drive safely and the best of British. The best of British to you. From me, everybody. Good old Richie Rich.
I think it's rubbish. I'm going to vomit.
I can think of no higher compliment. Jack, this is brilliant. I did this. All the family, mums, dads, grands, and of course the kids. Don't forget the kids. Look after mum, kids, and try and steer clear of the loony death.
Hello, yes, British Airways. No, I cannot hold. This is ground. Yes, Richie Rio de Janeiro. Yes.
we haven't heard the last of Filthy Rich and Catflap. They'll be back with a new series in the autumn.